Hello SGD, Sacred Geometry Decoded. This will be episode 4 in this look at Borobudur temple in Indonesia and how these same symbols, emblems connect not just in the East but also to the Western esoteric tradition. And now we'll look at the number 73. 72 was the last bit of focus. So there we have a couple of views, and especially this the three circular platforms there at the top, and they're not actually circular, they're slightly oblate, is that the term for it, but a little bit flattened on each side. And each of those, that's what you're seeing. So those bells or stupas, that's what you're seeing there, and this particular Buddha doesn't have the complete housing on top or stupa, but that's what you're seeing. These are on the top three platforms. Now there are 400 in niches, like in little alcoves, little holes in the wall. There are 432 in total on the lower levels, and then these three levels, what we have is 72 Buddha statues underneath these housings. However, there is one extra stupa there on top, and so we have 72 of these Buddhas enclosed statues in these stupas. Three levels, 32, 24 and 16, so 72 altogether. But we have the 73rd, what we have is another stupa there on top, so 73 in total, 72 plus 1. And that's an important theme, because what we're really having is 72 around the 73rd, and this is not included in most of the top discussions of it. And it's actually an important theme, because this again will be seen throughout this esoteric occult themes that's repeated across tradition. So for instance, Osiris, he was killed by his brother Set, and Set had 72 accomplices or disciples that conspired with him against Osiris, making Set the 73rd. So in Luke 10 it describes there were 72 disciples sent out by Jesus. Now even in the Greek translation, the Old Testament, back to Ptolemy II, or either 70 or 72 translators. However, but in Luke 10, 72 disciples sent out, making Jesus the 33rd. Jacob's ladder, so you could also, but Jacob's ladder, 72 degrees or steps up the ladder, and that would include the 73rd step being off the ladder, or alternatively onto it. But you would start you have to go up 72 levels, and then the 73rd would be into Jacob's ladder story. You can look into that. Very important also in the Masonic tradition. So the 73rd would be an important feature there. Confucius had over 3,000 disciples, but 72 disciples succeeded in their higher education. So 72 important senior disciples, making Confucius the 73rd. So this is another reference. Now 73 is a very important number. For instance, it's the 21st prime number, and 37 is the 12th, so just reverse the digits. But also that I've done some videos on how 37, 55, 73 appears in tradition architecture, especially connected to these hidden in plain sight themes. So 72, very important, but also this reference to the 73rd, where again the central stupa, the defining on this would be the 9th level. So there are 5 square levels, 3 circular levels, and then 8, and then the 9th is the highest one. And I think that's a reflection in there. Now you can find there are many okay, I'll do some more, because this will actually lends into Rig Vedas and the 360-day cycle as used in so for instance in Hindus they have 360 days, but the day, I forget the exact term for it, but they divide the year into 360 days, but each day is actually a little bit longer than the sunrise sunset day. There is a different connection there, but that would also relate to Thoth. So he won every 72nd day from the moon, and then you have the 5 days which are important for the birth of the gods. The Mayans had a 360-day year plus 5 days. Romans 360 days plus 5 years. as well. I'll put the link in the description. I did a video in there showing how these, again, different cultures, where this 360 plus 5 days is an important recurring theme as well. So it's not just the number, for instance, 360 or 72. It's also, you need to, usually they have, let's just call it a margin of error, which is very important, because I've been looking into weights and measure systems, and the margin of error actually encodes information. So there is always this next level, the next little step above, which leads to something, another set of information. It's like an onion. There are layers and layers and layers, and you need to go down further into them. And the difference is also an important theme. Also worth noting that line there, but that will be for this. Okay, that's for something else. But yeah, so 72 and the 73rd is an important recurring theme that you need to include. Now, for instance, 13, there are 12 steps usually to a gallows, and then the 13th step onto the gallows. Now, there are 13. Not traditionally, there should be 13 loops on the hangman's noose to reflect the 12 jurors and the ultimate judge, just like 12 people in the jury plus the judge, or 12 people on the board plus the 13th being the chairman or chairperson these days. The 12 disciples plus Jesus the 13th. So this is another theme where these important repeated numbers, then you have this added element to it, which connects to other information. So anyway, with that, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.